Hi crafty friends, Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a layout for the My Creative Scrapbook design team, and I am using the July 2025 main kit. Now, if you haven't seen my unboxing, I will leave a link listed down below in the description box. And this month it is full of the Vicki Boutin cut and paste collection, and I think it's my favorite kit yet. So I've already picked out my pattern paper that I want to start with, and I love this one. It was hard to decide which side to use, but I picked this one. I've got 3 photos that I'm going to use today, and these are pictures of my son Logan, and he just ran his first half marathon on June 7th. And I was so excited to document these, and I thought this collection would be perfect. So I've printed 3 photos. The bottom photo there is 3 by 4, and then the top photos are 2 by 3. And off camera, I matted those on some pattern paper, the same one I used to back this cut file. Now this cut file, Happy Moments, already came in the kit, and it's pre-cut. And what I did is I used some black Distress Oxide ink, and I inked the Happy Moments cut file, and then I manually backed it by flipping the cut file upside down on that like newsprint pattern paper, and I traced each letter and cut it out and then glued it to the back. Now I think I want to add a little more color to this layout, so I've cut a piece of cardstock. This is 5 by 8. And I think I want to put my photos on here just to make them stand out a little bit more on the layout. Off camera, I did distress all the edges, both on my photo and on that blue cardstock that I'm bringing in. So I know I want to overlap these photos. I'm just not sure which one I want to overlap first. And then for the cut file, I think it's going to sit nicely right here in between my 2 photos. I've got some blank space here, or some dead space down in this bottom photo. So I think I want the cut file to just overlap it there, and then it'll fit nicely onto the layout. So this is the direction I think I want to go. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my photos using some adhesive runner here. Just going to tack them down onto this blue cardstock. I want to add some mixed media behind here, but this will allow me to pick this blue pattern paper up and keep my photos right where they need to be. It's also important for me to have the exact location of that cut file and know where that's going to go, because I want to add some mixed media behind there as well. So I'm going to get this lined up, and yeah, I think that looks really good. That's going to work out nice. Now this awesome stamp, I believe it's from Bo Bunny, was also included in the kit this month, and oh my gosh, I love it so much. I am going to get so much use out of this stamp. It's perfect. I love splatters, and when you can control the splatters, it's even better. So I want to add some splatters behind this blue cardstock, so I'm going to go ahead and move my blue cardstock out of the way. I'm going to move everything out of the way here, and I have a block that I've pulled, and I want to add black splatters. I think that's going to look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and then give this a good press onto my layout. Got good coverage here with the ink, and I'm just going to give it a good press. Oh, I'm not sure I have enough ink. Okay, there we go. I think it's good now. And let me press down, and there we go. I'm going to hold it here for a moment, let the ink soak into the pattern paper. And yeah, that looks perfect. I got a great impression. And that's exactly what I wanted here. Just a little bit of that splatter peeking out from the side. Now let me go ahead and put everything back into place, because I want to add another splatter. So I think I want one down here to the bottom right. So I'm going to repeat the process and dip this in the ink, tap, 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 making sure I get lots of ink on the stamp. I'm going to move this blue pattern paper, or this blue piece, out of the way, and then I'll go ahead and give this a press here. There we go. And let's take a look. Move my paper back into place, and yeah, I think that looks really, really nice. Perfect. Let me add the cut file here. And there is another stamp included that has some like text print, and it's a bigger splatter piece. So I want to try using it. So let me go ahead and put this on my block, and I will ink it up. And let's try adding it to the layout. I'm thinking up here in this upper right-hand side, you're not going to see a lot. I just want just a tiny little bit peeking out. So we'll give this one a press. Now this one I didn't get a very good stamped impression, but that's okay because you're only going to see just that little bit. So I like that. Perfect. So I can go ahead and put this stamp away because I don't think I want to do any more. I was thinking of maybe adding another one to the side. Now I want to add a little bit of some paint. And so what I have here is I have some clear gesso. So whenever you want to add some paint on top of a pattern paper, if you apply some clear gesso, that will allow your paint to move around on the page, and it will also allow your paper to actually hold the paint. Because if you don't prep it first, then it's gonna warp and it might soak through your page and it might rip it. But by adding this clear gesso, and I've got a little brayer tool here, that allows me to be able to add some mixed media in the background. Now I probably should have done this before I stamped, but I didn't. And so I'm being careful. I was testing it to see if the ink would smear, but for some reason it did not. So I was really happy about that. And so I tested a little color. You'll see that color that I used right there, and I'm just going to wipe that up. But I was testing it behind my photo to see if I would like it. So this is my Shimmers Paints Twinklings, and I store them in this paint pan here. And this is the color that I'm using is called Rustic Charm. Now I spend quite a bit of time adding this paint on here, and in the end, you are not going to see this paint at all. In fact, I probably shouldn't have spent this much time on it, but I loved the idea of making this pattern paper my own. When I look back now, I really could have used a darker color, like more of like, I was thinking of pumpkin pie. I probably should have used a darker orange, but I really wanted it to be subtle. And my main purpose of putting down the paint was I wanted a little resting place for my title. And so at this point, I'm thinking it's a good idea, so I'm going to continue painting. I want a little paint to pop out from the top and the bottom of where my photos are going to be, so I'll add a little paint down here as well. And that's fine. It probably would have been okay, but I decided to take it a step further. And I'm going to add some splatters here, which I love to add splatters by dipping my paintbrush in the water and in the paint, and I'll add some splatters. But I get impatient when I'm scrapbooking and I want everything to be dry, and I really don't like to wait. And I don't know if you're like that, but I just want to keep on going, right? And I really should have brought in my heat tool at this point and let all of this dry, but I didn't. And so I can't take that back now. So I continue on. And the next thing I do here is I'm going to bring out some black paint. This is a scrapbook.com black luster brush, and I love adding black splatters, and I think they look really nice, but I should have let the paint dry and let my page dry, and I didn't. And so you'll watch here and you'll see I get a little carried away, and there's paint and it's running, and I don't like all the black on here. So I'm going to continue on and see how much I can cover it up, and then find a way to cover up the black splatters on the right-hand side that I'm not crazy about. So I think on the left side, I did an okay job of hiding the black splatters there that got crazy. But on the right-hand side, they're kind of smeared and you can see them. I mean, the cut file will cover up some, but I've got those at the bottom and I'm not happy with them. So I take out some flowers and this little zip strip. I cut it to make it look like washi, and I like the washi look on the top and the bottom, and that covers up some more. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Now the flowers, I don't really think it jives with a boy page. I just don't think flowers and men go together. So they're great. They're great big flowers and they're pretty and they cover up my spot, but that's not really gonna work with the page. So I'm gonna look through all of the embellishments that came in the kit and see if there's something else that might be more fitting for my layout. So I've got this little sleeve that I'm keeping all of my embellishments in. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll add a leaf to the flower and that'll make it more masculine, but I'm not crazy about that either. So I did find some trees. So I've got this red tree that kind of brings in that orange color, and then I've got the purple tree. Also included in the kit this month, there were these inspiring words, and so I cut them apart. They came on a sheet, and I thought these were perfect. Logan spent so much time training for this event. He has a running coach. He is actually a personal trainer himself. He did hire a coach specifically for running. And, he put tons of time and effort into doing this, and he met his goal. He wanted to run it in under 2 hours, and he ran it in 1 hour and 57 minutes and 9 seconds. So I think that's so amazing that this was his first one and he was able to accomplish this. Now, this was in Utah, and it wasn't just, flat pavement. They started at the top of the canyon and then ran down. And he told me that he had to ride a bus, and the bus bussed him up there. I think he said like 3:30 in the morning. And so he had to wait like a couple hours before the race started. So I can't even imagine, let alone running on flat ground, but then running from the top of a canyon and down. So amazing work, Logan. So I'm really excited for him. And so I thought this title, Happy Moments, was fitting. And then these inspiring words of believe in yourself and never give up. I thought those were great too. Now, I do like the idea of the trees on the layout versus the flowers. So I'm adding some craft foam to the back, and then I'm using some tacky glue in my fine line bottle applicator there, and I'm just applying the trees to the layout. So with the sentiment words and the trees and the cut file, I think I'm happy now with my mess up of splatters, and I think that covers it up nicely. So I'm going to call this a happy accident because I originally wasn't planning on adding any type of embellishment underneath the title, and I think it turned out nice. I like those. Now, also included in the kit was this arrow, and arrows and boys, I think, and men, I think that just goes perfect together. It's very masculine. And to level this out, I'm going to add a few more of these phrases. So I like live with purpose, and I have chase your passion. I thought, why not? I'm going to use these on this layout. It gives me an opportunity to use them, and they work perfectly with the story that I'm telling on this page. All right, I need some more embellishments. I feel like it's not heavily embellished. I found another one of those inspiring words, and this one just says inspire others, and that's definitely what he did with his training and his performance at this marathon. Okay, so I have all of that on the page. I found this little sticker on the sticker sheet that says you did it, so of course I need to include that. And then there's another sticker that I thought was perfect for this page that says, what an accomplishment. So I'm adding that to the top portion here too. And then there are these gold stars that are on the sticker sheet, and I really like those. So I'm going to add a few of these gold stars around the page. I've got 2 above the word strips there, and then I've got 1 below, and I'm looking to see if there's any more, and I think that's all the stars. So I'm happy with the 3. There's this little sun embellishment. It's like a vellum, and I cut it in half, and I'm thinking 1 up at the top, and then at first I thought maybe 1 on the left-hand side at the bottom, but it didn't look right with 1 at the top and 1 on the left. So then I was thinking 1 on the left and 1 on the right. So I'm going to try that. And I'm not really happy with that. So I'm going to go back to moving this 1 at the top and then maybe 1 at the bottom. So I'm going to move these around. I first put some adhesive here because I think that's where I want them, is on the left and the right. So I'm going to stick them down, and I'm just using my tape runner here, and the tape's going to be hidden behind the photos here. So these are going to sit here a moment, and then I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to decide to move it. So I feel like that's kind of crammed over there on the top right. And so by moving it, there we go. I moved it to the top and the bottom, and I think that evens it out and looks much better. Now I had a purple tree here, and there wasn't any purple on the layout. I found a blue one when I was looking through the embellishments, so I changed that to the blue. I also added my journaling. So if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. And if you're interested in the My Creative Scrapbook Kit, I will leave their website listed down below in the description box. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!